All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with Unit 1, Section 1, which is a fairly short unit, which is going to deal with the introduction to horticulture. So the essential question is going to be, why is the horticulture industry popular? So first off, you need to know the definition of what is horticulture, or an explanation of what horticulture is. So it comes from the combination of horti, which means grass, and then culture. So the best definition is horticulture is the industry and science that deals with the cultivation of plants. So what does cultivation mean? Well, cultivation means growing of plants and crops. Okay, so horticulture is both an industry, career or businesses, and it's also a science. Because there's a science that goes into growing crops and understanding how, or plants, and understanding how that operates. So why horticulture? Why should you be interested in horticulture, or why should you care about horticulture? Well, the two main reasons. Number one is food. Okay, it's a big part of our lives, in case you didn't know. Some examples again: berries, corn, nuts, vegetables, and also one that's kind of overlooked, but we all really enjoy, is landscape. Okay, nice looking landscape, whether it be at a home or at a college campus or a high school campus or an arboretum or maybe a golf course even. So landscape includes trees, shrubs, other plants, flowering plants, etc. So where did it all start? So if we think back to history class, humans started as hunter-gatherers, which means that they were constantly on the move, gathering food to eat, whether it be vegetative food or animal food. And we talked about in biology, in ag bio and honors bio, that the name of the game is to survive with using the least amount of energy possible. So humans being hunter-gatherers, always moving, humans were using a lot of energy hunting down these resources to survive. So eventually, humans started small-scale horticulture operations, where we started growing and cultivating crops first, and then moving into cultivating animals later. So they planted a variety of crops in a small area. Excuse me. And this differs from agriculture. Okay, agriculture is large-scale single crop growth. Okay, so we're talking about, horticulture would be an example. Horticulture, what we're talking about would be, maybe you have a personal garden in your backyard. So how did it get to us? Well, all crops were moved by humans. Okay, a majority of crops started in the centers of origin area around the world. So if you see these numbers, and let's see, give a pointer. These numbers are all along the equator of the Earth. Okay, right along here. Um, this is where most of the crops originated from, and then humans moved them to different parts of the world. So then what? Well, communities increased in size and the amount of people that lived there, which required more food to feed those communities. So then larger crop operations were needed, larger crop products or production was needed. And then you have the industrial age that came along and kind of enhanced farming, and enhanced everything, but really enhanced farming with machinery and large scale crop production that was made possible by the addition of machinery. All right, so some numbers of where it stands today. Okay, you can look here. I'm not going to go through it. You can just look at the amount of money in crops, especially these top two, corn and soybeans. Okay, we'll do some things at some point in the year talking about what corn and soybeans are used for, and how much of it is exported. So you have production results here, and then what influences these numbers? Well, it's really kind of demand, and not really demand in the United States. When I was talking about with corn and soybeans, a majority of that is exported to places like China, that use those products to make a lot of things, and they can't grow it very well in their environment or their climate. So they rely on the U.S., United States production of these crops, and some other countries as well. So what's the big deal? All right, kind of wrapping this up. So the big deal is that there's multiple advantages in horticulture. But some of the ones here that, some examples are increase in food. And horticulture leads to an increase in food. Horticulture also leads to an increase in jobs. We're going to look at that on the next couple of presentations. And horticulture also increases the aesthetic pleasure with landscaping, good landscaping, or maybe adding value to a home. All right, so be sure you complete the video form that goes with this. That's attached to the link is attached to your pacing guide, and that will be the assignment for this short little presentation. Thank y'all. If you have any questions, let me know.